Scum poets. Can I call you Scum? Is that just far too personal? This is Cathi Rae, who will be doing a proper headliner with you in person with people in the same place. How exciting. At some point in the future, here's a sort of mini taster headlining set. And as people said in the publicity, if you're able to, but only if you're able to, if you can make a donation to a food bank, either money, time or goods, if you've enjoyed these performances at this event, that would be super fabulous. There'll be people out there really hurting for months to come. So thank you. I'm going to do a fairly political set for you because I thought you guys might like that sort of thing. And I want to start with a poem about so-called key workers. We've suddenly realised they're quite important. This poem was written a while ago, but I think it still holds true. It's called There's More to Your Cleaner Than Meets the Eye. There is more to your cleaner than meets the eye. That one gets up at 5, runs as fast and far as heart and lungs can bear, revels in the recognition from other early morning pavement pounders, and then puts on the uniform of tabard, bleach-stained leggings, becomes invisible again. That one knows the name of every star that's in the sky, and more than that, can tell you why they are so named, but has spent so long on hands and knees, she fears she may have lost the knack of looking up. That one's boyfriend's banged up again, working double shifts. She has curated a collection of childcare so complicated, tenuous that in a gallery you would call it web or DNA of every day. That one says she's lucky. In a refugee camp far away at 15, 16, the soldiers felt she was too old to rape, so mostly she was left alone. That one speaks 5 languages, including yours, so knows exactly what your husband and his mates make of her arse when she bends down to scrub that skirting board. Laser jets from lowered lids if looks could kill. That one holds a broken bird, a touch so light as if her hands were wings and not these red and swollen things, fingerprints burnt off with bleach. Convenient, she always thinks, should she start a new career as master thief. And this one's writing poetry, verse as vicious as vipers, mouth so acidic it makes diamonds bleed. This one's writing poetry. There's more to your cleaner than you will ever see. It feels really weird saying thank you to an invisible audience, but thank you if you're listening. The second poem was inspired by Shamima Begum. You may remember, depending on what paper you read, Shamima Begum is either a dangerous international terrorist or a victim of online grooming. And it struck me when I thought about reading this. I have no idea if she's still alive anymore. I know the coronavirus is in Syria. I know she's probably living in terrible conditions. Who knows? This poem was also inspired by having worked a lot of my life with children who were not allowed to go into mainstream classes because they were considered dangerous and frightening, and actually some of them were. And their first line when they asked what they were worried was, I'm not bothered about nothing. So this is called Bothered for Shamima Begum and the others. And I need my glasses on because I'm old. 1. My mum's got a new boyfriend, proper waste man, but I'm not bothered. 2. My stepdad threw my phone down the stairs, cracked the screen and everything, but I'm not bothered. 3. He said the photos were just for us. Everyone's in school, seen them now, but I'm not bothered. 4. My uncle's a right pedo, and for a minute his mask almost cracks and it is smashed back into place with a ferocious anger, but he's not fucking touching me, and besides, I'm not bothered. And in the room with no windows at the end of the corridor today, we are not bothered about Shakespeare or Steinbeck. We are especially not bothered about the committing to memory of 16 or 17 random poems, just to prove we could all have had a grammar school education. And I'm trying really hard to not be bothered by the simple truth that half my class don't read well enough to even understand a question on a GCSE examination paper. Shamima, 15 years old and a virgin on your wedding night. Was your warrior husband gentle, playful even, or already battle shattered? Did he grab at you with hot, hard hands while you lay still, face blank, not bothered? And later, did you run your hands over the heavy black fabric that enveloped you, shrouded your swelling belly? Or were you already fatalistic, a shrug, inshallah, if he wills it? And later still, when you held your first, and your second, and your third dead baby? Were you bothered then? Or did you seek refuge in the rhetoric of revolution? Shamima, you would never have ended up in the windowless room at the end of the corridor because you were, by all accounts, bright, able, hard-working, but in some other classroom with light and air and a whiteboard that actually bloody works. Were you already learning to keep your head down, face blank, still not bothered while you waited for something to happen? And back in my room at the end of that endless corridor, Sadiq and M Squared and Leighton and Tanika and Tequila and Saffron and Joey and Amy with an I are still not bothered, are waiting for the next thing to happen. As I said, this is a fairly political set, which I'm hoping is sort of what you guys would enjoy and appreciate. So here's a cheering poem about coercive control. Coercive control is a form of domestic violence which may not, or domestic control that may not involve violence or physical violence, but involves the taking over of someone else's life emotionally, mentally and financially, and both men and women are both perpetrators and victims of this. This is the house that Jack built. This is the house that Jack built. Listen, how quietly doors are closed, one finger on the catch for fear of slams. Nothing to disturb his well-deserved downtime. After all, as Jack says, he needs a bit of peace and quiet. This is the house that Jack built. Look, lights on only in the rooms where he is sat with you. After all, as Jack says, why would he want to be alone when he has worked all day but missing you? This is the house that Jack built. Notice how pristine clean. There's a schedule for you to follow. Daily, weekly, monthly chores. After all, as Jack says, what else would you do at home all day? This is the house that Jack built. Count the cars on the drive, just one now. A stay-at-home wife means sacrifice. And after all, as Jack says, well, you never were a very good driver. This is the house that Jack built, and this is his money. Receipts required, statements checked, questions asked. After all, as Jack says, what could you need that he doesn't provide? This is the house that Jack built, and this is the new phone for you. Shiny latest model in a shell pink case, but somehow all your photos, contacts lost in transfer. After all, as Jack says, your life is with him now. This is the house that Jack built, and this is the gym he chose. Women only, lots of treadmills, no need for you to run outside. After all, as Jack says, you owe it to yourself and him to lose that post-baby fat. This is the house that Jack built, and these are the clothes you wear now. Long sleeve tops and calf-length skirts. After all, as Jack says, you really don't have the legs for jeans. This is the house that Jack built, and planning for another child, pills spirited away, a tub of folic acid on the kitchen table. After all, as Jack says, you're not getting any younger. This is the world that Jack built. And this is the leaflet you found in the library, now hidden away in the lining of your purse. Plan carefully. After all, as Jack says, what could you achieve without him? Thank you. If you're worried about domestic violence, worried about friends or neighbours or colleagues, there are loads of safe spaces and numbers all over the internet at the moment. Please share, please use. Like everybody else who's been trying to write and create in this environment, clearly I have written some poems about the virus because, hey, we are living the virus. So this one was written quite early on in the situation. It's called Virus 2020, and I don't know it, so I will have to read it. Virus 2020. Extraordinary how quickly we learn to embrace our new world order. In a time when almost any other embrace seems unimaginable, stay mostly in your home, an hour a day outside but maintaining social distancing. Mind you, the British have always been good at that, but then we used to call it playing with children who look like you. But now it has an actual measurement, 6 feet. Same distance as a well-dug grave. And so we stand toes touching the slightly not straight duct tape lines outside the supermarket, one in, one out, buying what we need or a self-employed can now barely afford, ostentatious displays of minimal consumerism, overfull trolleys slightly frowned upon, and yes, there will be those who write the perfect poem, this isn't it, create a piece of art to make the heart sing, or finally complete that jigsaw bought 10 years ago, but in 3 or 4 weeks' time when we do another form of body count, those women suddenly so clumsy around cupboard doors and irons and burning cigarettes and worse, those children whose speech seems frozen, wrapped in upon themselves, home is where the fist is. And in 6 months' time, when you and your neighbours plan a peaceful protest against a maternity unit gone, a barren space in place of nurture and new birth, or a road that ploughs through common land, remember the gatherings of more than 3 may still be illegal. In 10 months' time, when they slashed the minimum wage, well, they managed fine on 80%. The rest must be superfluous, just luxury. In 12 months' time, when your bullying boss demands a pound of flesh and blood beside, remember how easy to lose a job, identity, your sense of self, a scraping bit of wealth. Remember, take 2 months unpaid leave. Remember, go stack shelves at supermarkets. Remember well. Welcome to our brave new world. Thank you. I'm going to do one more last poem. This is another virus poem, but it is more cheerful. I think like lots of us, I've had up days and down days and good days and bad days through this. And this is a poem about a really good day, inspired by someone letting me know what he was doing. It's called This Is a Good Day. And you'll have to just talk amongst yourselves a moment, because you know, that's how it is. Still looking, here it is, okay. So today has been a good day. Today has been a good day. A friend messages me to let me know he's baking sourdough bread, and he would like nothing more, he says, than to come through my door, cradling a loaf still oven warm, a loaf that we would tear apart with bare hands, smear the hunks with that good Polish jam, sit in the small sliver of my garden that gets the morning sun, drink coffee out of mugs as big as bowls, and pretend that we're in France or somewhere else. But of course we can't. So instead, he sends a photograph, and in return I unearth that cherry jam now lost behind a stack of tins. Take another picture, the promise of jam tomorrow. I'm going to finish with a last poem which is dedicated to a friend. It's called When Jamie Becomes Becky. And because it's about an actual person, I checked with them the pronouns they wanted me to use and felt comfortable with. And I suppose it's also about the joy in finding yourself, and maybe we're all doing a bit of that at the moment. So this is my last poem of this set. When Jamie Becomes Becky. When Jamie becomes Becky, he feels lighter. Dancing becomes a joy and not a chore. Outfits chosen, unchosen, finally discarded in that tiny back bedroom where no one goes except him, and of course her. When Jamie becomes Becky, he still likes to drink pints. Likes how the amber light reflects onto her sharp red nails. Sometimes wishes that drinks are served in 2-pint mugs so that her hands could be dwarfed as they wrap around the glass, but shrugs. Makes the best of things. Her Pandora bracelet chinking against the rim. Chink, chink, chink. When Jamie becomes Becky, it is enough in itself. Enough for him, enough for her. No endgame except the possibility of near seduction in forgiving light. The possibility of almost passing. I really hope everyone is surviving through this and staying as safe as you can when the government's gone mad. And cheeky favour, if you have the money, and I understand many other people don't at the moment, if you have, and you don't mind giving some cash to Amazon, I know that's dreadful, my debut collection, Your Cleaner H and Other Poems, is available on Amazon, or I will be at Scum Poetry some point in the future with a box of books. I would love to meet you all. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.